Niall, good morning to you. Nice backdrop, by the way. That's lovely.
Thank you, Adrienne. I'd like to keep you happy with the exciting backdrops.
Yes, it's a lovely day in Washington, D.C. But we have to ask first, what are Congressman Crist's chances at defeating DeSantis? I mean, he has a very strong base of support.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Crist is clearly the underdog in this race. There isn't any doubt about that, really. Most polls show Governor DeSantis with about a 5 percentage point lead. He also has a colossal financial advantage. The governor has raised more than any other candidate in any gubernatorial race that we're aware of, a total of around $160 million. Charlie Crist, by contrast, raised about $14 million for his primary and spent most of it. So he's starting off at an enormous disadvantage, both in terms of finance and in terms of polling.
And how is he doing with Democrats? Because, I mean, when you think about it, he was a Republican when he served as Florida's governor, and then he switched parties within the last decade. For some, is he a hard sell?
I think he is to more progressive Democrats in particular. His primary rival was running a little bit to his left. And you mentioned his electoral history, Republican, then Independent, then Democrat. To try to transcend that difficulty, I think what we're seeing is the congressman really billing himself as the person to stop DeSantis. In other words, he is betting that the Democratic desire to oust the sitting governor is going to be greater than any misgivings on the progressive side about Charlie Crist's own past record.
Well, that sounds a little bit like Groundhog Day, kind of just voting for the lesser evil. Is that the theory here? I have to ask you about, in terms of DeSantis's potential bid for the presidency, he's never come out and said, I'm going to run for president. There are a lot of people who believe he will. What would he look like going against President Biden in 2024?
One of the main assets that Governor DeSantis has is the belief among Republicans that he is a populist who is electable. In other words, he is somewhat in the mold, policy-wise, of former President Trump, without the baggage that the former president typically brings. That's why there are a lot of Republicans, Adrienne, who really fancy his chances if it were a head-to-head matchup, DeSantis versus Biden. The challenge, obviously, for Governor DeSantis is winning the Republican nomination, especially if former President Trump gets into that race. He's typically seen as the second option after the former president.
And in all actuality, Governor DeSantis has been very vocal, saying that he is committed to the state of Florida on a number of occasions, in a number of interviews and sound bites. We've heard him say that. So for Congressman Crist, this theory that he can be the only one to defeat DeSantis from going on might be a little far-fetched for some. And, you know, we'll just have to tune in and see. Niall Stange, thank you so much for being with us on this lovely Monday.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.